Good morning. I am going to talk to you today about the truth behind trying to lose weight, intentional weight loss. I'm hearing a lot of discussions about it in the intuitive eating community online, and it's something that my clients always talk about. So I think it's worth addressing. It's, I guess, kind of a controversial subject, and I think it's something that people really shy away from addressing face on because it's embarrassing and it's very painful and it's difficult to overcome a lot of the beliefs that you've had about your body and your size for your whole life. So I just wanted to talk about it's obviously this enormous roadblock, right? So when you think, I want a peaceful relationship with food, but does that mean that I have to give up the goal of losing weight? Does that mean I have to accept the fact that I'm going to be living in a larger body for the rest of my life? I know I've told this story a lot, but there was a point in my journey when I definitely still had feet in both camps, like many people do. This is not uncommon at all. It's like, want the peace and freedom around food, can't stand the binging anymore, can't stand the obsessive thoughts about what to eat and how to eat every day. However, still really hoping that at some point this is going to lead to me being skinny. And as a result, my life will be better, right? That was always the connection in my mind. If I could just lose weight, everything would be better. And I was in therapy and I was in an intensive program for binge eating disorder and going through this healing process, but I just couldn't let go of that idea that this was in some way kind of like a diet. And the idea that I had to really release that goal was very, very difficult for me. But I had this situation where somebody in my personal life gave me this like lecture about dieting and weight loss and all this stuff. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I could feel how offensive it was to me, even though I still really was hoping for those things kind of secretly. And I got really frustrated and I went into my therapist at the time and I was like, I am so annoyed. This person just gave me this lecture about losing weight, and this person has dieted and lost weight and gained weight their whole lives. And I'm so sick of hearing about it from this person. And I just don't want that to be part of our conversations anymore. It's like all they care about. And why couldn't they just like 30 years ago have decided that they're okay the way they are and just like enjoy their life and ate the ice cream and just, acted normal, and they'd probably look exactly the same as they do now because of all the weight that they've gained and lost over the years. Like nothing has fundamentally changed about their body. And this incredible, like very emotional rant. And my therapist just was like, mm-hmm. And so, of course, it didn't take me very long to realize, that really is the whole thing, right? That really is the foundation of the whole journey, is going, you know what? I am at a point where I am so freaking tired of thinking about this thing so much, of wasting my time talking about food, of wasting my time trying to change my body. And, another thing that happened to me at some point was that I realized how many opportunities I had missed because I always had this like, after I lose weight, then I can kind of mentality. And I actually changed my college major because I was so insecure about my body and about my appearance. And I went, and I was going to be a geographer. I had a geography major, and I went, all the classes that I went to, like the high level geography classes, it was literally 99% guys. Like, I think I had like a few women in some of my classes, but most of the classes that I went to was all these like kind of guys who knew each other that were a little older than me. And I felt very isolated. I felt very insecure. And there was one class in particular, it was a surveying class where we had to like group up, and the whole semester was going to be about like doing a surveying project on the campus together. And I was like, I just can't do it. I was so insecure, and it was all about my body. It was all about my weight. I actually switched my major to sociology so that I could be in rooms with women and not feel so insecure about myself. So, it's that kind of thing that just, all of a sudden I just had all of these like epiphanies, like, how many things have I lost out on? How many opportunities have I missed? How much time have I wasted? How much money have I wasted in the pursuit of this thing that really, at the end of the day, is just so meaningless? it doesn't make a difference, you know. And the final like nail in the coffin of my pursuit was actually losing a bunch of weight, like losing over 100 pounds on this very restrictive diet, and realizing that like it wasn't the magical pill that I thought it was going to be. It didn't do any of the things that I thought it was going to do. I didn't feel better. I didn't feel more confident. In fact, I felt more insecure because more people were focused on my body. More people were talking about the way I look, getting attention from more men. It was very uncomfortable. And it didn't solve any of the problems in my life. It had nothing to do with my relationships or money or my lack of fulfillment in my career. It was just like really, really disappointing. So there was all these kind of factors that came together for me to be able to get to the point where I thought, you know what, if the concession that I have to make in order to live my life the way that I want to and to have complete freedom and peace, not only around food, but around everything about my life, about myself, if the concession that I have to make is to live in a larger body permanently, I'm definitely willing to do that. And I know that was not an overnight decision, but once I made that decision, once I had that epiphany, once I went, okay, I'm just going to be in it. I'm surrendering to this process. Whatever happens, happens. First of all, my progress really took off. I was able to just make so much more peace with food, really get the concepts on a much deeper level, but also just the sense of peace and freedom that comes with that kind of surrender was very, it was a huge relief. It was really what I was looking for all along, just to be able to say, like, this is who I am and love me no matter what. And sorry that my body isn't the way society thinks it should be. And it's just going to have to be okay. And you know what? Nobody stopped loving me, and things have only gotten better. I think my life has only improved as a result of making that decision. So I think it's important to really have that be a focus of the intuitive eating process and say, like, I mean, so many women come to me and say, like, but I can't keep gaining weight. I'm so uncomfortable in my body. I totally understand, and that those feelings are absolutely valid, and it's something that we can work through. However, are you willing to take it to the next level? Are you willing to go a little bit deeper and go, but does it really mean anything? Is that something that I really want to focus on? Does that matter? Is that the point of this? You know, and I always ask people to go back to the original reason that you even started this journey in the first place. Why did intuitive eating appeal to you from the very beginning? Probably because, as most of us do, you got to a point where you were like, I cannot do this anymore. Intentional weight loss does not work. And for the very small 1% to 3% of people that it does work for, they have to make enormous permanent changes in their life in order to maintain that weight loss. So I guess we are programmed to believe that if you just do it right, if you just keep trying, you'll get to this point. You'll be one of the magical unicorns that is able to lose weight and keep it off for the rest of our life and have this magical experience. But that's not the reality for the vast majority of people who do that. And when I say vast majority, I mean like at least 95% of the people who diet do not keep the weight off permanently for more than 5 years. So, of course, diets work in the short term, and that's what we're always focused on, right? Like when you start to diet and you lose weight quickly, especially if it's like one of the first diets that you've been on, your body doesn't know how to survive that yet. And yeah, you lose a lot of weight quickly. And we've seen all the success stories and the people smiling in their new size 6 clothes and all this stuff. But go back and see where they are in 5 years. I promise you, it's not going to be the same. It's not a sustainable pattern. Our bodies are not programmed to allow starvation. And so they get very wise and they start storing fat more easily, and they start making you more hungry so that you eat more because they're just trying to live, you know? So anyway, I just think it's an important conversation to have if you're struggling, if you're in that same spot and you're struggling and you're going, I just can't stand my body right now. One of the first things I always tell people too is, what can you do to feel better right now without going, I have to lose weight because I don't feel good. My knees hurt, my back hurts, and you know, all this stuff that I always hear. How can I feel better? What can I do to strengthen my leg muscles so that my knees don't hurt as much? How can I reduce inflammation in my body? What could I eat, or what supplements could I take to make myself feel better right now? What we do is we set up weight loss as this big roadblock that we have to get past before we can allow anything good to happen, right? Before we can allow ourselves to feel good or allow ourselves to feel happy. There's a lot you can do to pursue those things without this enormous thing standing in the way, which is what I let hold me back from a lot of things in my life. So I hope that's helpful for some of you today. Of course, this is a difficult conversation. It's a difficult subject because we have all struggled with this for so long. If you need support around this, always feel free to reach out to me, Teddy@teddyhicks.com. And this is something that we're going to be kind of gently teasing apart in a patient way in the Food and Body Love group coaching program, which is starting on Monday. The format is just like a little dose of information every day with a weekly theme and a monthly theme. And one of the things that we'll talk pretty frequently about is like how to make peace in the body that you have right now, how to feel your best in the body that you have right now, how to learn how to really honor your body. You know, I don't mean to make it sound like it's guaranteed that you will gain weight during this process, but a lot of people do, and it's worth talking about. But I also know some people who have lost weight the more they've made peace with food and the more they've learned how to tune into what their body needs and stop overeating and stop binging because they're really feeding themselves in a balanced way. That their result was a smaller body, and that's just what worked for them, and that's what happened with them. So I don't know what the result is going to be for you, but I think it's important to accept that your body may change, and that's okay. And you're still worthy of love, and you're still worthy of freedom and living your best life. And you can do that in a larger body or the body that you have now. Thank you for listening. And if you want more information about the Food and Body Love group coaching program, I didn't do it yet, but I'll go back and put it in the link for the description of this video so that you can go to the website and check it out. And if you sign up before Monday, when it starts, you get half off the first month. So that's super fun. Always reach out to me if you need anything. Thanks. Bye.